The Shamrockettes are talking smack because they think Shoresy thinks they're whack. And though underhanded, together they banded to win the ship back to back to back.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we are once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one will crush your hopes and dreams. Shout out to Adrian from Twitter for that one. I'm Mal, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt and the victorious Victor. And joining us this week, all the way from tomorrow, he's from Melbourne, Victoria, in Australia. He's the host of the Greendale Human Podcasters, a podcast about the great show Community. He's a patron and he's a really good guy. Please join me in making some noise for Melbourne Jack.
Wondrous!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wait!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
I regret nothing!
Welcome to the Produce Stand, Jack. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I had to wait for you guys.
Awesome. What are you drinking?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I have we call a Balter XPA. I was going to get a Foster's for you guys, but I couldn't find one.
What the fuck is an XPA?
Wait, is it 12 o'clock in the afternoon yet, your time?
No, it's 1 o'clock.
Oh, it's 1 o'clock.
He's well within drinking time. Don't worry.
Maybe that's a politically correct way of saying IPA, because isn't IPA in?
No, they do an IPA as well.
Yeah. Very nice. Well, so I mean, you're talking to us from Melbourne, correct?
Yep.
That's nice. And you were already bragging about how nice and warm it is down there, about 30 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, it's a lovely day down here, which is rather nice actually for a change.
For a
winter, you guys are coming out of it. So.
Yes, we've already established that your winters are mild by comparison. But although I was listening to your last Greendale episode, and apparently you guys had some heavy rain there recently, like some flooding somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so the other boys that I did our podcast with live up in Queensland and Brisbane. And yeah, up through Brisbane and down into New South Wales has been some big flooding, and they're sort of all the rain stopped now, which is really good. Mm-hmm. But obviously they're trying to get over their floods now, and yeah, it's not ideal up there.
Well, I mean, thank you for coming on. I mean, you're on here because you were a patron. You would have been our first patron, except you got beat by minutes by Mike Low Rangers. So you are our second patron that we had on here, and we really appreciate that. And you're on today because it's tomorrow there for you, but you're usually working right now because it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon in where you are. But because today's Good Friday there. Today is tomorrow. You were able to join us.
This is everyone keeping up?
Yeah, this is going to be very confusing today.
How's the future?
How's the future? Well, it's already here. He said tomorrow it's going to be 30 degrees and lovely, so I can't wait for
tomorrow. That's right.
I can't wait for that.
Tomorrow is thoughts weather for you guys.
Thank you for bringing the good weather. So today's lineup is going to be Tanya, Al, Victor, Matt, and our guests will have the last word, Jack. So
how are you now?
How was your week, Tanya?
I love how you pause. Tanya. Week has been good. Busy as usual. Short week. So try to pack everything into 4 days. Getting ready for Easter. Kids are excited. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything. No?
All right. Well, I've got...
Oh, wait. I have a question for Melbourne
I know.
Jack.
I can't think when I first wake up either.
Yeah. Okay. So...
that's right. So Tanya was late for the recording tonight because she fell asleep with the girl.
Once it has happened to me. You guys have each and every one of you have been late, except for Jack, because he's already in tomorrow, so he's early.
Yeah, way early. Holy crap.
But once it has happened, yes.
Late.
So I may have fallen asleep with my daughter and was startled by Al, and then
It's funny. I
woke her up.
walk into the room. Veronica's still awake. Tanya's like snoring.
I am not.
And then she opens her eyes and she startles, so that wakes Veronica up even more. And now it's like, honey, it's 4 minutes past the hour, and we're supposed to be recording.
Man, not a good thing. Anyways, I have a question for Melbourne Jack.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, I'm trying to get a present ready for my sister, and I found out there's this treat box that I can order through the States, and they have all these different countries. Anyways, I was looking at Australia's box, and there's these things called chocolate fish that Cadbury does. That's a very Australian thing. And I wanted to know, is that an actual thing? Chocolate fish. They look like fish, they're chocolate, or like sandals. I don't know. And I'm like, what are these things? And then there was this there's a Vegemite.
Yeah.
That was in the box.
Cadbury's a big chocolate maker. That's sort of our mainstream. It's your everyday chocolate. It's in all the supermarkets and everything. So that's normal. I don't know of the fish.
I think it's Cadbury. Cadbury?
Yeah, Cadbury's the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the fish. Like they do blocks
fish.
and they do all sorts of different things, but I don't know about packets of fish.
Well, there you go. Useless then. Useless.
Good talk, kid.
Well, I mean, you got to be careful with these things, right? They tell you, it's international. Like,
this is what they always enjoy.
It's like the beer conversation.
Yeah. Once Tanya, somebody calls Tanya back from the internet, and she's able to.
Hey, listen! I was told
world, she might be able to research this.
I was told that I was tech savvy. I have I'm like, I don't know. I've been told
it's all relative. It's all relative.
It happened during story time tonight, I think.
No, because our daughter is probably more tech savvy than Tanya.
Oh my God, she totally is. But yeah, I was told that I was tech savvy. Oh, yeah, Tanya will help you out. She's tech savvy. I'm like, never. I'm still waiting for the internet to call me.
They say that to all the customers at Future Shop.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've just done some Googling, and they're a big New Zealand thing.
Oh, New Zealand.
Like Cadbury's brand is across, does both. But yeah, apparently the fish is big in New Zealand.
New Zealand. All right.
Which New Zealanders don't often like being called Australians, right? They like their independence. Is that right?
Oh, probably. They're just the 8th state, they'll be right.
But you don't care because you, as an Australian, you don't pay them much attention, right? Yeah.
Oh no, there's plenty over here. We're over there. Like they're just like cousins. That's fine.
They're like cousins.
All right, let me talk about my week. So this week's been a little bit less hectic with work, but I've had a fun week online. So a couple of days ago, I posted a meme that went mini viral, which is a lot of fun. It's like 144 likes, probably by far the most popular post I've ever posted on our thing. But today I had a hell of a day on Twitter. So it's April Fool's, and I decided, hey, why not? And I said, hey, next up on the produce stand is Jared fucking motherfucking Kiso. And basically Twitter went apeshit, and it was hilarious to watch. And it took maybe an hour or so before somebody's like, people, look at the calendar. Look what day it is, because everyone got really excited. And I was feeling a little bad, but I was also loving every second of it, because the people were like, I love that they got so excited for us, because if we were ever able to get Jared Kiso on the pod, we would be very excited. So just the fact that our listeners would be as excited is just, it's heartwarming. It's awesome. But unfortunately,
I got very excited because the date was different. I went, oh no, that's all right.
Oh,
all the April Fool's yesterday. They got him. How'd they? And then I went, oh no, it's yesterday. Oh.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, if Jack woke up and saw the tweets, I'm like, oh, but it's Friday for him. So yeah.
And that's so yesterday.
We're not going to get tired of that.
Thank God April Fool's is done for another year. I forgot all the American Canadian stuff hadn't happened yet.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a lot of fun to watch all the excitement, and I swear to God, if it ever does happen, we'll be just as excited as you guys. But unfortunately, it was an April Fool's prank. Matt, how was your week?
It was good. I'm going to go with good. It's yeah. Well, it's complicated. Well, I'll hit the ping one. So I got new glasses. That was exciting. I can see again.
Congrats.
I haven't been able to see in like a year, so that's been fun.
Vision's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Vision's an important factor.
Mm-hmm.
Still crushing homebrew. That's been delicious. Yeah, we've been flipping bikes on Facebook Marketplace, so that's been fun. It's a new hobby of ours, apparently. And then I'm gonna get slightly serious for a second, and it's a good thing. Al, I'm not gonna get super specific, but I'm gonna talk in very cryptic. The last few years, I have been battling a dragon. I'll put it that way. In a personal matter, and it's been one of these kind of things. If anyone's been through really tough shit in your life, you can face a ton of adversity. You can face some moments you almost consider evil, and the whole time you have this inner challenge with yourself on, am I making the right choices? Am I, doing the best for myself and for those around me and the people I love? And that can be challenged and bring you down in a lot of these matters. This week, I had a moment of pure 100% validation that just brought it doesn't undo anything that's happened or I've been through, but it definitely validated the things and the decisions and the way I went about things in the absolute best way. So it was wouldn't even call it good. It was just a freeing moment. And it was fantastic. So if anyone's going through some shit, stick by what you know is right. And there is a silver lining at the end of it all. So
stick to your core values. As long as you stick to your
core values.
Yeah.
You got it, buddy. So that's what I'll say about it. So yeah, it was a good week.
That's good, bud. Happy to hear. Victor?
Yeah, well, week was, typical week. And then I felt a little bit of what Matt was talking about. He was battling whether he should have shared some information over Facebook with me about some trains that were available. and he was struggling with it. He was really, really struggling with it. And then he decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get razzed for it, but I'm going to share with Victor. It will open up the fact that I've been browsing for trains myself.
Oh my, Matt, but really?
Okay. Yeah, but he did share that info, and I appreciate for that very much. Anyway, so that's a little bit into Matt, but the week ended well because today's kind of Thursday is our Friday, and today was officially I accepted my new position, my new job.
Congrats, bud.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. It's not going to officially start until mid-May. Things work a little slow, but it's done. It's a done deal. I've accepted it. I'll have to tell my team next week, and so that will be fun.
It's an impressive title too. So well done.
Yeah, congratulations. And did you get the trains?
Was that in the signing contract that you needed a train ride somewhere?
No, but with the signing bonus, I'll be able to afford the train. So that's a good
nice. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Well done. Jack, how was your week?
Not too bad. Just it's been a bit up and down. Actually, I got some bad news from a very good friend of mine this week. So I won't dive into that now. But that was that sort of brought a bit of perspective to my week as well towards the tail end. But otherwise, it's all good. It's a long weekend here, and just happy to be on a podcast without having to do any homework, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, your podcast is going well. You're what, four or five episodes in, I think.
Yeah, 6. Yeah. I think we're recording 6 after yours at some point this afternoon about 3-4 o'clock out.
That's wild. That's
normally we do ours Friday night, but
right.
I've got work Friday night, and there's football on, and we've got the day off. So
sure. Well, that's great. I mean, I'm enjoying it. Tell Disco Spider that I'm glad he kept his name, and and what was
very
what's
go ahead.
What's that?
I was going to say, and I hope it's okay. We have been, and we will continue to refer to you as Melbourne Jack. I'm willing to bet not a soul in Melbourne refers to you as Melbourne Jack, but we're going to do it. And that's what you've been dubbed.
Well, I think it was your Twitter handle for
Steven still thinks I work for NASA. So
yeah. Well, the funny thing is, every time I go to say your name, I always want to say Panama Jack, and that's just because it's a liqueur here that sometimes we get, kind of like Irish cream Baileys or whatever.
Kind of like Irish cream
that
Baileys,
we sometimes have in the fridge. So whenever I go to refer to you, you'll hear me stutter. It's because I'm about to say Panama Jack before I switch to Melbourne Jack. So I have to go through the geographic areas in my brain before I get to the right one.
Maybe that's what the XPA stands for.
Maybe. All right, let's do our Twitter roll call here. We have 23 new followers this week. So welcome to Eddie, Rachel Matthews from Northern Ontario, at FT Quinn from Jamaica, man. Yes, I think that might be our first Jamaican listener.
Jamaica.
Yes, we're big fans of Jamaica. Micah or Mika, probably Micah Bidwell from Nebraska. Finlay McLeod from Scotland. Zach, a little bit of Jessica, here I am. Sherry Ann Grace from Mississippi. Jennifer Thorne from Georgia. Pappins. We need to talk about Pappins. Kyler Johnson. Potlicker Girl. Debbie Haskell. James Brush from Michigan. Ben B from Melbourne. Is somebody you know there, Jack? Ben B?
No, there's a few bands I know, but probably not.
No, these are the bands you know. Dave Radford from Reading. The Critter from Paris, but not France, Paris, Tennessee. And fun fact, I looked it up because I didn't know there was a Paris, Tennessee. They do have a smaller size replica of the Eiffel Tower, so they're committed to that name. Where are we? King T, Scott D, the Prince of Puget Sound from Seattle, JJ Olald from Corpus Christi, Texas, Monroe Hess, and my name isn't Earl from Colorado. Thank you all for following and for hopefully listening. I just need to stop and talk about Pappins for a second, because another fun thing that's been going on in the Twitter DM group is Pappins is a new follower that just started following. And
we should try to get Pappins on the show, by the way.
You know, I mean, if he wants to become, if he or she wants to become a patron, no problem. Anyway, it turns out Pappins may not be following us because they're Letterkenny fans. It's probably because he or she needs me to give banking information so he or she can release funds or whatever, however those Nigerian scams work. Anyway, it's fun. I'm documenting our conversation on DM, and one day I'll publish it because it's hilarious. Because the profile picture is like this older guy, but then he or she tells me she's a 6'1" brunette, beautiful, looking for a man, and this and that. I'm like, I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on here. So I mean,
she's recently devoiced. So you know,
recently devoiced. Anyway, it's hilarious, and I promise to post that conversation one of these days when it comes to an end. I feel like it may have, because I feel like he's gone radio silent. So anyway, a lot of fun there. So let's see here.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
Last week, we recapped and reviewed episode 4 of season 5, Letterkenny Spelling Bee. That episode received a fresh from Victor, Matt, Dennis, and myself, and a clearance from Tanya. And according to our scientific Twitter poll, 87.2% agreed that the episode was a fresh, while 7.7% gave it a clearance, and 5.1% completely and utterly missed the point. This week, we recap and reviewed episode 5 of season 5, back to back to back. I've done my homework. Tanya, have you done your homework?
Yes.
Victor, have you done your homework?
I have.
And Matt, have you done your homework?
At the whistle, I have, yes.
Jack, have you done your homework?
Yes, a couple of times this week.
This is a hockey heavy episode, so if you have any questions, Jack, don't feel free to stop us.
or school us.
Or school us, yeah, maybe, yeah. We start at the farmhouse. The Hicks are admiring a Texas Mickey of Gus and Brew while Katie peels carrots. Katie needs to have a serious talk with Wayne about Gus.
Wayne.
What's the problem, Katie?
It happened again.
What did?
Gus left a Mr. Big on the floor this morning.
No, he never.
We dropped a Hershey bar in the living room just last Tuesday. Although upon closer inspection, it did look more like a Hershey's Mint.
Well, I'd sooner believe that was you, Squirrely Dan. So watch how you speak on his name, you know?
Good buddy. He left a Twix on the floor just yesterday.
And what made it a Twix as opposed to a Big Turk, dude?
Well, there are 2 of them. They're identical and they're side by each.
Oh, they're out.
How would you ask somebody if you wanted just one of their Twixes?
Well, just what you said.
Can I have one of your Twixes?
No, it'd be, could I have a Twick?
In any event, it's starting to look like Willy Wonka's emptying his pockets around your house, good buddy.
Now, you realize the weight of these allegations, these accusations.
Can confirm.
And you realize the consequences at hand should your claim be false.
Claims is, and can confirms.
I'm going to give you just one more chance to retract. No questions asked. Before this conversation becomes a confrontation.
Oh, we wouldn't be bringing it to you if it weren't worth being brought in, but...
Bring it on.
Oh, it has been brought in.
Wayne's just kidding. Gus is a 10-year-old boy. He's been such a good boy, but he's a senior now. He's in the home stretch, and Wayne is going to let him enjoy it. Katie thinks Wayne should give Gus a good stern talking to. Wayne gives in. He puts Gus in a full Nelson and using puppy talk. He asks Gus if he's the one leaving crispy crunches all over the floor, calls him a bad dog, and tells him not to do it again. Gus just sits there looking adorable. Derry thinks Wayne was a little harsh on Gus, saying he was being a bit accusatory. Katie disagrees, so Wayne puts Gus in another full Nelson and again asks Gus if he's been leaving Jersey milks on the floor, because if he was, then he's a bad boy. Katie doesn't think he's taking this very seriously. She thinks Wayne should use his real voice instead of the cutesy voice he's been using on Gus. Wayne takes a third crack at it, and this time with his regular stern voice, accusing Gus of leaving caramels all over the floor. Someone might step in one, slip, and pull a full gainer down the stairs, or at least a half gainer. Squirrely Dan almost approves of Wayne's scolding.
I think we're almost there.
Oh, is that we almost are, Squirrely Dan?
Well, Professor Tricia says that when you're bringing a complaints to someone, they'll be more receptive to altering their behavior if you make it your problem. Make it personal, rather than placing the blames on them.
What are you fucking getting on about over there?
May I?
Okay, Dan. Dan, okay. Go on in. Good luck.
Gus, how are you now? Now, we've all noticed the coffee crisps around the house, and that's completely natural and nothing for you to be embarrassed about. But I am quite worried I'm going to slip on one and take a full gainer, or please look at me when I'm talking, Gus. Now, while I know that that is my problem, I know you don't want this to happen any more than I do, so I'm hoping we can work together to find a resolution to this problem. But besides that, we want you to know we think you're doing a terrific job around here, and we don't want to bother you any more than we need to, so you have yourselves a great day.
There's a nice little bit of ad-libbing there when Gus looks away and Squirrely Dan doesn't miss a beat and says, "No, look at me when I'm talking to you." Yeah, that's so good. Let's see. Wayne dismisses Gus from the room. Katie asks Wayne to take Gus out for routine number 2s.
You try taking him out, Katie. You don't want to. You could say, "Hey, Gus, you want to rock one?" And if you could talk, you'd say, "I've had to rock one for a good 7-8 hours. Don't worry about that right now. I'm going to grab another quick 20-25 shut-eye here. We'll circle back on the conversation later. But how about some good itchings and a scratchings in the meantime?"
Smells like Mr. Wonka's just emptied his pockets in the other room.
Fuck. Well, everybody up. Help me look.
Cut to Wayne saying, "Better be looking at it than looking for it, eh?" And then the theme starts. All right, that's the cold open. Tanya, what do you think?
I thought the chocolate references tied in nicely to our Easter egg hunt that we're about to have this weekend.
Yes.
I thought that was comical. Anyways, it was a good cold open. I thought it was cute, the whole dog thing, and it took me back to memories of when the kids were potty training and would try to hide behind chairs and
pop a squat and
pop a squat.
Yes.
Not that we have dogs, but we have children that
Did you just compare your children to
I
puppies
totally
or dogs?
did. Absolutely.
We used to do it all the time. Are you kidding
You
me?
don't have a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old trying to go around the corner and push one out.
Yeah. My dog barks at a buffet. That's how he needs to go. It's a little different.
Yeah, let's see. It was fun. It was a fun cold open. It was cute. You could tell. I mean, I believe Gus, the dog in the show, is actually Jared Kiso's dog. And you can tell that there's a lot of love there, and he loves his animals. And Wayne's almost out of character when he's dealing with his dog. He even like cracks a smile in this,
and his eyes are open.
And his eyes are open. Yeah, so it's He definitely kind of breaks characters, so you can tell that there's a lot more genuineness there between him and Gus. It probably went a little long. I didn't think it was super funny, but it was super cute. So I'd just say it's just an okay cold open. What did you think, Victor?
Yeah, same. I had a bigger problem with it at the end of the episode because I didn't know while we were watching it that it would have literally absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the episode. So based on that, at the end of the episode, I was thinking, why the hell did they invest so much time in that opening?
It's the ants all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that might have been one of their longest cold opens in history. I don't know. We'd have to kind of look at that, but it had zero. Like there wasn't a single thread of tie-in with the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it was just kind of a
You're
skit, right? Yeah. I mean, they do that every once in a while. Like they're called, Matt mentioned the ants and the sea-doos open. That had nothing to do with
tied
the
it back at the end. They did.
No, but they tied it back.
Sure,
there was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing.
Yeah.
There's no tie back to it. No.
Matt, what'd you think?
He's so sensitive.
I know, right?
I loved it personally. I mean, yeah, it wasn't the funniest thing in the world, but I mean, I'm a dog guy. I got a new puppers that I'm dealing with, and it just makes me laugh. The whole concept of talking to your dog and trying to get it to do something. It's not effective in any way. like I'm not a dog trainer by any means. I'm trying to figure this shit out. But reality is, I mean, to have a conversation with a dog and try to set them, that's not going anywhere. And it's just hilarious how he humors them, knowing God damn well it's not going to do anything.
But he's a good boy. Right. I mean, he's a good boy.
Yeah. Well, and he really is a good boy. Do you see how calm and just like subdued you? I loved it. I'm like, man, that's a really good boy right there. And he truly, you're right. I mean, Al, you had it spot on. There's such a genuine moment there. If that's not Gus, then he must be the dog whisperer, because like that dog was just so in his arms, trusting, you know, even when he was saying, and I think he purposely said bad boy in like a very sort of calming, fun way, because it is his dog and he doesn't want to upset him and think that he actually did something wrong. So he was careful in his approach there. But no, all in, I thought it was a great open. I think he played to something he loved and it came through really well. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but he kind of broke character. Wouldn't you agree? Like that wasn't really Wayne.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's hard to tell because I mean, if you look at anybody, they could be the toughest, hardest ass person in the world, but you put an animal in front of them, they're, oh, you're a good boy, and they get all like
their animal.
Yeah,
what's that?
Especially their animal, as opposed to just being an animal, it's their animal.
Yeah,
I don't think
everyone has a different version of themselves in front of an. If they're animal people, there's a different version of them when they're with that animal.
Yeah, it's true.
And he didn't completely break character. He still did the three names. Oh, did he, Katie? Oh, did he, Katie?
Yeah.
Katie, did he? Like he still did the repeats on every single character.
Okay.
Yeah. So he still kept with the character. His eyes were open more.
And he was smiling. Like that's the most smiling I think we've seen from Wayne till now. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I got a dog and a cat as well. So, you know, I'm an animal person. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like Victor said, probably a little long, especially with no follow-up. And it did kind of not drag a little bit. Like they sort of shifted momentum on it and took it in a few different directions. But, yeah, it's still a very long cold open for no later payoff.
Yeah.
Matt, have you tried with your training putting it in a full Nelson yet?
That's tomorrow's. That'll be tomorrow's tactic.
That might work.
Moose is a little small for that though, but yeah,
he's crossed the 40-pound mark, man.
Really already? Holy crap! That's crazy.
Oh,
he's quadrupled. He's quadrupled in size since we got him.
Oh my god!
What kind of dog do you have, Jack?
I have a little Australian Terrier cross. He's like a little cattle dog.
Right.
I'll bring him up later.
So no full Nelsons for this dog.
Oh no, he can deal with it. He'll be fine. He's not. He's stocky.
Oh yeah, I love terriers. They're fun. Tanya's parents used to have a Jack Russell. I loved the shit out of that dog. It was very. Yeah.
He was an amazingly smart dog. Yeah, you said that dogs don't understand. This one totally did.
Yeah, this dog didn't know it was a dog. He thought he was a. Oh hey, hi Jack's wife or girlfriend. She just walked.
It's his sister
or sister, I guess. I don't know.
Someone say or cat.
No, I said cat or cat.
Hey,
hi. Who are we speaking to? Sorry.
I'm Jack's wife.
Oh,
hey, Jack's wife.
Sorry, your name cut out for a second there.
Oh, okay, yeah, Jess.
Jess.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. Are you a Letterkenny fan?
No, I haven't watched it, so I was trying not to interrupt. But I want to go on my game.
All right.
So I'm interrupting.
All good. It was nice to meet you.
You're going to get in trouble for that, Jack.
I'm going to blame. Yeah. How dare you? Make sure she knows that this isn't a video cast, so it won't be going on the internets. Tanya reminded me, and I'm going to blame her for this, that we forgot to ask you how you discovered Letterkenny.
Totally. What?
Because you were late to the show, so you threw me off my whole script.
It's not in your script, so therefore.
How did you discover Letterkenny?
Domestic.
I discovered the shorts through actually my now brother-in-law on YouTube. And then when the show started, it was on one of our free-to-air channels over here. So I got into it that way and then started having to find other ways to watch it. But we won't discuss that because it's not PC.
Yeah, you're right.
From there.
But I think there's a streaming service now. I think there's a streaming service now that has it. Isn't there down there?
Yeah, it's on one of our free to air channels. You can download the episodes on their app, but the seasons are out of order. It's really weird. Oh, yeah. So what season are we up to now with you guys?
Well, we're at 5, but the show is actually at 9.
But it's still like when I went to watch the episode this week through the week, they classify it as season 3 and it's down the end. Like it's 2 seasons squished together.
Oh, that's weird.
Is season 3.
Oh, okay. Weird. So they combine. They do 2 seasons at a time, I guess.
Fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's all good. All right, let's move on here.
Yeah, readily find.
All right. Scene 1 out of the credits. Riley and Jonesy walk in on the Shamrockettes dressing room for a talk with the players. It has come to their attention that there may be a young man who has come between Marianne and Betty Ann.
Impossible.
How do you mean?
The last guy that was into Marianne was the priest at Catholic school in grade 6. And only because he thought she was a boy.
Well done, Betty Ann. Catholic school, grade 6. Isn't that the same year you got the nickname Fisted Sister? Which you gave yourself?
Ladies. Women.
And a fitting nickname it was, Betty Ann. Your mitt looks like a boa constrictor unhinged its jaw in an effort to consume a combat submarine.
Speaking of consumption, your mitt looks like the drooping jowls of a Shar-Pei with palsy and a water wing in its mouth.
Your mitt looks like the back of Kelsey Grammer's head circa Frasier 94, if the cast each autographed his bald spot with multicolored lipsticks.
Your mitt has more spiderwebs than a no-doubt setlist, Marianne.
Oh, Coach is outside the dressing room listening to in on the chirping. Riley and Jonesy realize that their only hope is to go to the source. So we cut to scene 2. They're in the hockey arena bathroom. Riley and Jonesy are in a stall, and they're beside Shoresy.
I'm not helping you tit fuckers or those twats. Give your balls a tug.
There's a lot on the line here, Shoresy.
Hey, want to talk about lines, you fucking loser? I woke up to your mom ripping dick dingers off my foreskin. Tell her to keep her hands off my scoops.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you, Jonesy. I made your mom come so hard they made a Canadian Heritage Minute out of it and Don McKellar played my dick.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you, Riley. I made your mom so wet Trudeau deployed a 24-hour infantry unit to stack sandbags around my bed.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you both. Your lives are so fucking pathetic. I ran a charity 15K to raise awareness for it, you fucking losers.
The camera pulls back to reveal Coach at the urinals witnessing the scene. He doesn't look pleased. Next scene at the Skids' lair. Skids and Everett are hanging out. They seem concerned about something. You can hear Stu from upstairs raving about where Everett could be with the laptop to the dark web. He was supposed to be there an hour ago. He proceeds to rage about what he's going to do to Everett when he gets his hands on him. Awful things like sever every one of his phalanges and force feed them to him fondue style, or rip off his ears and use them to tickle his taint. Everett grows increasingly worried. Rold begs everyone to remain composed. He assures everyone that the end is nigh. Then he calls Stuart down to the basement. Stuart comes down, sees Everett, and for a second seems concerned that he may have heard some of his ravings, but then quickly turns his attention to the dark web, demanding it from Everett. And at that moment, Glenn enters the basement. Stuart's confused as to why the preacher's there.
Glenn? Stuart. Glenn, this is...
No, it's not!
An intervention.
Rolled!
Rold produces a piece of paper with his intervention speech, but Stewart pulls his forced choke move, immediately silencing Rold. But then they're interrupted by another visitor, Gay. Stewart freezes upon seeing her. She demands that Stewart releases Rold, which he does as Rold drops to the floor in a heap.
Come. Sit. Stay.
What? Oh, I like you.
You're coming with me and Glenn.
Where?
To a place where you can get away.
Yeah. You can't mean. No, yes, Stuart. You don't mean.
Yes, Stuart.
No, Stuart.
You're going to rehab.
No. Yes. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That last yes was from Katie, who dramatically walks in the middle of the argument. I love the little I like you from Glenn when Gay's like putting him in his place.
We haven't seen Glenn in so long. It was just so nice to see him again. And yes, hilarious as always.
I agree. I'm pretty sure I like mumbled to the screen, Glenn's back.
Scene 4, back in the Shamrockettes dressing room, Riley and Jonesy try a different strategy.
We spoke with Shoresy.
You did? And
he
what?
He said
What?
He said you suck at hockey.
Huh?
Yeah, he said you should stick to ringette.
Huh?
Yeah, he said that you should never ever let a woman do a man's job.
He did.
Yeah. Yeah, I was standing there like, what is this guy saying? And then he said, who let the broads out of the kitchen?
He did not.
Yeah, and we were like, what? Can't say that. He was like, yeah, I can. They should be making me my supper. I was
Did he?
Yeah. I mean, we're like, dude, you're crazy. Then he said, I mean, how do they find time for hockey while they're cleaning the floors and doing my laundry?
Did he?
Yeah. And that's not even the craziest part. Like, we were, and believe us, we had enough at this point, but we're all like, are you sure about this? And he's like, anybody can go back to that. Yeah. We're like, dude, you better stop talking about those girls like that. Better stop talking about those women like that. But he said, talk to me when they go back to back to back. What is it?
Marianne and Betty Ann stand up, meet each other in the middle of the dressing room, and...
Marianne, Betty Ann, we're on to hip, lip, and dip. Ship. We're on to coat, note, and tote. Boat. Why don't you say you, me, and the girls put another one on the water? Back to back to back!
I got to say, Riley and Jonesy's plan was actually pretty smart for them.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I love the yes and thing in the worst possible way.
Yeah. It's a smart plan. It's a horror. Yeah, the things they were saying were horrible for sure. Scene number 5, cue the training montage. We see the women practicing, training, and playing games. They slowly climb the standings from 6th place, cut to shots on the bench where the coach is holding a waste bucket and looking at it longingly. But all he does is spit his gum in it because things are actually going well. By the time the montage is over, the Shamrockettes are all the way up in 1st place in the league. I have a production note from this. The name of the other women's hockey teams, hilarious. They all have the suffix "et" in them. So there was the Caribouettes, the Rapidettes, the Royalettes, the Bulldogettes, the Loggerettes, and the funniest one is the Alouetteettes. So, which is hilarious because an Alouette is already sporting team's name and already has the "et" at the end, but then they add the extra "et" to make it a woman's team. And I'm sure Danny's team had a lot of fun designing all those logos and all those team jerseys and stuff.
That's right. Yeah, this would be a big Danny heavy one.
Mm-hmm. Scene 6, back at the farmhouse, the Hicks get ready for the Shamrockettes game. They've got their beer and their brooms, hoping for a sweep of the championship. Katie's staying behind because, well, Stewart's getting out of rehab. Scene 7, outside the Donegal Bulldogettes rink, the Hicks meet up with their counterparts from the opposing team.
Dwayne,
Daryl,
Cheryl, Dan.
Dan.
See, he's brought your brooms. Shop's not but a couple side roads down, though.
Oh, you didn't hear? We're working for Sweep Country Canada now.
Don't fear the sweeper.
Why don't you use those brooms and show us that little dance those fellas do on Mary Poppins?
If we offer you a beer, are we sweeping with the enemies, or...?
You should have used those brooms to sweep the cobwebs off of Letterkenny's trophy case.
Well, it's good you got the beer sorted, but is that Donegal tap water still stinky, or...?
He's got a liberal amount of beer there. Not sure it's going to be enough to drown your sorrows after we shit kick you today. Yous are on the brink of elimination. Read it and sweep.
Hey, win or lose, these guys have still got the most ostrich fuckers per capita, right? That's the big picture.
Allegedly.
But you wish you could put your head in the sand and ignore that one, huh?
May the best town win.
The opposing Hicks shake hands, except for Cheryl and Daryl. She takes a step forward, but Derry takes a step back. Yeah, I guess when you're the town that has the ostrich fuckers, you basically lose every chirping argument with another town.
But I love how confident the other team was, considering they're on the verge of a sweep.
Yeah, exactly. and the whole your trophy case is dusted off or whatever. I mean, they're going back to back to back, so that means they've actually won the last 2 years.
Right.
Yeah. Next scene, inside the dressing room, Riley and Jonesy are giving a final pep talk to the now harmonious team. Then Coach storms in.
Let's get this fucking win. Let's get this fucking sweep. And let's get this luxury fucking sea liner on the lake.
Big final, buddy. Game 4, buddy. Suits on deck for it. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Cut to the player's bench. Shoresy skates up. He's one of the officials.
Shoresy?
Give your balls a tug.
Shoresy!
Tit fucker.
We heard what you said about us, you sack of shit. Never let a woman do a man's job, huh? Watch this. We're just taking a break from cooking and cleaning to win back-to-back-to-back shifts, asshole. I'll make you a sandwich afterwards, though. I'll shove it for your ass for you, too.
You two are the silliest twats I ever met in my whole fucking life. I didn't say any of that shit, you dumb broads. But I did say your breath could stop a Mack truck, Betty Ann. I'll tell that to anyone who will listen.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you, Betty Ann. Your breath is an existential crisis. Made me question my whole fucking life.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you, Mary Ann. You got legs on you like redwoods. You could box jump a bungalow.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you, Riley. Your mom groped me 2 Halloweens ago. Shut the fuck up or I'll take it to Twitter.
Fuck you, Shoresy. You're a horrible fucking ref.
Fuck you, Jonesy. Take a look at me. I'm not even a ref. I'm a fucking linesman, but you can referee on my nuts, you piece of shit.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
So good.
Shoresy does admit, though, he'd still smash both Marianne and Betty Ann, but Riley and Jonesy's mom would get jealous. Scene 10. At the Skids' lair, the Skids are waiting for Stuart to return from rehab. Everett, Gay, and Katie are there waiting with them. Glenn walks in and introduces the new rehabilitated Stuart. We see everyone's reaction. Rold is shocked. Gay seems pleased, but the scene cuts before we see Stuart. Scene 11. Back at the game, the Hicks are in the visitors section trash-talking the home fans.
Fuck the wave. Pull your finger out of your ass.
I remember when you could smoke in here.
Yeah, we're going to smoke yous in here, bud. Came here to do 2 things. Launch this broom on the ice and drink puppers. And the gal at the bar just told me I'm cut off.
Your gals look slower than my tractor. First man's got a Hemi in her.
Your gals are having a tougher time finding the pucks than NHL on Fox View circa 1996.
I've seen more hustle and chess.
Still no heaters in here, eh? I remember Letterkenny Mem in the 50s.
The visiting Letterkenny fans drown out the home team fans with their cheering. The game is a close one with great chances for both sides. It's scoreless with little time left in the third period. At one point in the game, Shoresy skates up to the Shamrockettes bench and rips a fart before skating off. Coach looks on nervously and catches a longing glance and nearby trash can. He really wants to kick it. With 4 seconds left, the Shamrockettes take a timeout. Shoresy skates up to their bench.
Hurry up and score a fucking goal already. I'm getting the bedtime sillies.
Fuck off, Shoresy. Give us our timeout.
Fuck you, Riley. Tell your mom to give me a timeout. The last time I tried that, she threatened to take a header on me into an empty pool at the Quality Suites.
Fuck you, Shoresy. Leave us alone.
Fuck you, Jonesy. Tell your mom to leave me alone. She's been laying in my fucking waterbed since Labor Day.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you all. Your lives are so sad I get a charity tax break just for hanging out with you. Nice sweep, no sweep. Give your balls a tug.
This intrusion seems to give the Shamrockettes a boost of energy. During the next face-off, Marianne and Betty Ann line up. Shoresy drops the puck, but instead of going for the puck, Marianne spears Shoresy between the legs, dropping him to the ice. The Shamrockettes proceed to skate the puck down the ice and score the championship-winning goal. The players celebrate. The Letterkenny fans throw their brooms on the ice. The Donegal fans sit in quiet dejection. Riley and Jonesy celebrate on the bench while coach, overwhelmed by it, crumples to the ground in tears. During the trophy presentation, Marianne and Betty Ann receive the trophy, both kiss it and hand it to Riley and Jonesy. But coach grabs it from them and once again crumples to the ice in tears, hugging the trophy while the rest of the team celebrate around him. Scene 12. Cut to Riley and Jonesy in the stands at the empty Donegal arena, just staring out at the ice. A maintenance person walks by, sweeping the last of the brooms off the ice.
We did it, buddy. Can't believe it, buddy. We won a fucking ship. We bought that boat.
Riley and Jonesy look like they're about to start crying, but the moment is interrupted by texts from both their mothers. They think it's to congratulate them on their win, but both moms are asking about Shoresy's whereabouts. Riley and Jonesy look bothered, and we fade to black. All right. Discussion time. Tanya, what are your thoughts, your initial thoughts on this episode?
Well, may I start with a question? Even though I know this isn't a safe place, I'm going to ask it anyways.
Smart lead.
So I just want to know: is the broom thing a real thing? Like, does that happen? People throw brooms on.
You know what?
Ice?
I've never seen brooms thrown on the ice. Have you?
I mean, I've seen octopus thrown on an ice.
I've seen octopus
I've
and
seen
hats.
but
So if you're going into a game 4, right? Because if it's the best out of 7, if you're going into a game 4 with the opportunity to sweep the other team, there's a good chance that somebody's coming in with a broom.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, you know what? Like at NHL games, I think they frisk the fans to make sure they're not bringing brooms in.
Yeah.
But I bet you in small town arenas,
How do you hide a broom?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, people hide octopi. So, I mean,
What's the octopus for again?
That was a Detroit thing.
Yeah, I think you could bring a broom that kind of screws together like a pull cue. So,
oh my!
Jack looks very confused. I know.
He's working out the details.
So probably maybe
We're not
we have in our local soccer. When I say local, like domestic soccer, but the top league. We have what they call a Premier's Plate. So if you're top of the league at the end of the season, and then we have finals. We don't have playoffs, but we have finals, and it's just knockout. And whoever wins that wins this big trophy, and it kind of looks like a big toilet seat. And so it's been nicknamed from season 1 the toilet seat. And whenever we get to the finals, people bring toilet seats.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my gosh.
And hold them up in the crowd because they're going to win the toilet seat.
Awesome.
Is it blasphemy for an Australian to call it soccer?
Wow. It's just to differentiate the codes. There are multiple football codes. I can say football, I mean 3 different sports.
Yeah. And I guess, I mean, Aussie rules football is pretty big there, so you'd have to have soccer to differentiate, right?
Football in Melbourne is Aussie rules.
Right.
Football in Sydney or Queensland is rugby.
Oh, okay. And then...
So which one is soccer?
It's just soccer. They call it soccer there.
He's speaking down to us.
European, it's football. It gets confusing.
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense.
But I'll have to find you a photo of the toilet seat.
Yeah, definitely. Share that, please. Any other?
Yeah, I was going to say, I so love Riley and Jonesy. I love this hockey so much better than the boys hockey. I love Marianne and Betty Ann. I love the interaction between them. I love that the banter back and forth. It's not set up like the guys. When the guys did it, it was long and drawn out and went several rounds all in the circle, and it was just too. It was too long. This is much quicker. It's interesting. It's I love the banter between them, the energy between them, Riley and Jonesy in the mix of it, and trying their best to try to figure out a way in order to get everything under control and try to get and they were smart about it too. Like as we just already mentioned,
relative to Riley and Jonesy,
right?
Yes.
No, of course.
Yeah, it's smart. 2 mitts and 1 ball.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. But I just love I love it so much better than the boys hockey team. What was I wanting to say? The whole Stewart was revealed. Glenn brought Stuart back and there was a big reveal and everybody kind of gasped. And then you waited for them to circle back to that at the end, and it never happened. It didn't get touched on again, and it just was dropped. So I thought that was quite evil of them that they didn't show us like, well, what is the new Stuart? So those are my thoughts.
What did you think of Gabe being back?
Yeah, she looked completely different. I love that she still has that power over everyone. And again, Glenn and his whole, well, I like you. And oh my God, just love how his character and how he's just gotten better and better and better. Can't wait to see more of him.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a fun episode. The back-to-back, the hockey storyline. I mean, I'm trying to think, has there been another episode that's been so Riley and Jonesy centric? I feel like this is the first one kind of where they carry the story. The Hicks are almost secondary in this one. I feel like this is the first time I've seen the Hicks take a back seat in the main storyline. So that was an interesting thing there. Riley especially, Dylan Playfair, some of the faces he gives when he's like being really bothered or whatever, when the girls are chirping at the women are chirping at each other, or when
well played.
Just funny looks. And Coach doesn't say much in this episode, but his reactions, if you ever watch this episode again, just watch him and how he reacts in some of those scenes, because he's either being really bothered by what he's witnessing, or he's crying because he's like so emotional about getting the win, or he's like looking longingly at that trash can. It's like really, I found it really comical. So overall, it was a story, story wise, I thought it was kind of a light episode. The whole Stuart thing, I know that's going to evolve into something. I like seeing Gabe back. I'm happy she's back, and happy to see Glenn back. Victor?
It was a puzzling episode for me. I felt like it felt like a badly edited, rushed, badly edited mini movie or something like that. It just seemed very patched, nothing connected. It was just, and it wasn't like it's an episode of different skits. So it's not. I don't think they can get away with that. I just felt that nothing was connected. It was, and the stories themselves. I know it's just like a 30-minute funny show, but I don't think that there was a lot of plot holes in almost every story. Like where's the drama about them winning when they're the team that won for the last 2 years, and why are they even at the bottom of the are they really at the bottom because they're fighting over Shoresy? I don't know, like the whole thing just felt like all of us, we went from having this fun dialogue in the locker room to all of a sudden we're knee deep inside a tournament. Like wait, what just happened?
The training montage showed that was a time lapse.
No, I get it. It just we were kind of thrown into it. Like we slipped on one of those big Turks, and then we ended up in this,
pulled a full gainer.
We went through some portal, and we ended up inside this hockey tournament, and then we were pulled out into a very strange skit about the skids. Like, wait a second, why all of a sudden is Stuart getting an intervention? Well, how is he different than everybody else in that group? And where did that come?
But I think that was earned. That was set up. I mean, for the last 3 episodes, he's been like focused and obsessing over the dark web. He's addicted to the dark web.
Oh, so it's not an intervention over drugs.
No, hell no. They're all still...
Okay, I'm with Victor here.
I did not catch that at all. If that's an intervention for being on a dark web, I totally did not get that. I totally did not get that.
He came down and he's like, okay, is he here? Like he wanted to get on the dark web again.
Yeah, okay, that's good for
all this after is trading meth for the dark web.
Yeah,
dark web.
Yeah, so I totally connected that to the meth, and I'm thinking, why him and not else. So maybe I can forgive that a little bit looking back at it, but whatever. It just felt like out of place. And then I almost felt disappointed when Glenn showed up, because I'm thinking, really, this is the episode you're bringing him back and not the previous one? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, where was Glenn for when it really would have counted? Because I felt like his talents were underutilized here. Yeah, he had a good reaction to Gay there, but I don't know. I just felt like, do better. Let's use them in a utilize your talents. Yeah. Anyway, so just those are some of my first thoughts.
I agree with you. They've had a lot of opportunities to use Glenn. So I'm wondering, like, if there's a production related reason that he wasn't in the wedding episode like he should have been, and why he wasn't in the talent show or the spelling bee episode when everyone else was and stuff. So for sure, and to bring him in for this episode, and he really didn't have much. He said he had one line, I guess, or two, or not one, like a couple of lines. But you're right. He was kind of wasted here. Jack, what did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I think they're clearly kind of setting up towards the end of the season now, where they're trying to wrap up those other storylines. I think that, like Tanya said, that I think they learned a lot from the locker room with the guys, and they've adapted that with the ladies, and it works much better with only the two than the 5 or 6. But otherwise, I didn't mind it. I thought it was a solid mid episode, not really it wasn't a grand episode like some of the others that we've seen. One note I've got is interventions. They're on every TV show. Do you guys actually do them over there? We don't hear. They're not a thing. Did they ever actually happen?
You know what?
Like, you mean in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
I've had an intervention with friends.
Yeah. I guess we did once, didn't we?
I have personally with some girlfriends.
Yeah.
To try to help another friend see.
There was a friend who's going through. So I mean, I think before the TV show happened, we probably didn't know what these were, but the TV show certainly made them. I guess.
But it's nothing so formal as like everyone's here and we're ganging up on you. It's just like, okay, let's all get together, but we're like secretly like, let's all get together because we should talk about this. So it's just to try to help people through things.
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, like, clearly that's setting up for future events. And I don't think there's like the difference between those scenes with setting up for the future, whereas the cold open, where, as we discussed earlier, it doesn't go anywhere. There's no follow up on it. Clearly, I don't mind those scenes, knowing that, if they don't follow up on that in future seasons, or what, like if you just drop those characters and you went, why are we invested in that? That'd be different, but they're leading somewhere. So that I don't mind too much. And I think the hockey stuff is they've been having fun through the season with these characters. This is a way to wrap that up so they can move on to other things.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with your points. Let's see. We'll go to ratings now. Tanya, what do you give this one?
Al?
Yeah.
You forgot me, bud.
Did I forget you?
He's gonna blame that on me. Great, way to go, Matt.
I was gonna blame it on you as well. So
this
one. I was unprepared. I was checking which episode, like how many episodes we got to go in the season, and he told me. I was like, oh no, I thought I was out of order.
No. I'm the one out of order.
You did well, Jack. I'm just gonna let this play out. Let's see if he loops back to me. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And then he forgot me. And
you know what?
Holistically,
it's because he's already on tomorrow with Jack.
Yeah,
like he just wanted to, jump ahead.
Okay, Matt.
I still love you, Matt.
What are your initial thoughts on this episode?
Do you even care, Al? Do you even care?
Of course I care. I care deeply.
All right.
I'm sorry, Matt.
Well, I have no notes written about you, so that's good then.
They're all directed at me.
No, actually, so I'm going to take mine. I actually enjoyed the episode. I thought, I always think of like, do I laugh? I didn't laugh my ass off, but I love the Shoresy content. The shit he does is brilliant. It fucking kills me. Marianne and Betty Ann, I mean, Jack and Tanya, you guys are spot on. I think this dynamic is so much better than the group dynamic in the earlier hockey scenes. It's not that it's not a guy versus girl thing here. I think it worked better as a duo or a duel there. And I think these two complemented each other so well, and the content coming out of them is so smart. And on the look at the good puppers on the screen.
Oh my!
Oh, good puppers. Sorry, I got sidetracked. There's a puppers in the screen.
Oh my God, so cute.
Oh, it's so cutest puppers ever. All right,
there it is.
Full Nelson.
Full Nelson.
And then Al, actually, I will mention Al. So you're spot on with Mark Forward, coach. I actually wrote down silent hero on my notepad. I mean, yes, he has his one outburst, but he was one of my favorite characters this whole episode. Watching his little moments of staring at the can or overreact or underreact, not really sure what to do. He's in a weird realm there.
Yeah.
They didn't really know what to do. And then even when they won and he's hugging the trophy, I actually didn't take. I'm like, is he happy or is he sad? I think he's just so overwhelmed in his own head he doesn't even know how to react.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that chaos that was coming out, and it was so good. What else did I mean? I didn't understand. Oh yeah, again, Victor, you're right about the skid thing. I didn't understand. I didn't catch the dark web thing. I'm like, this is a meth related rehab. What the hell triggered this? Why are they suddenly throwing him to rehab? But I guess it's okay, and they're setting up for future. I imagine the next episode. It's been a long time since I watched these. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought Riley and Jonesy were in their element. This was a huge episode for them.
Yeah.
The dynamic when they're like you said, when they're watching the girls battle, their uncomfortableness, and they're trying to be PC and trying to be trying to be okay and deal with this situation from a coaching perspective, and then their growth from up to wearing their suits and moving on and it's really leading this team. I thought it was a really high point for them, and I really enjoyed it.
And that tender moment they share at the end, only to be ruined by the text from their moms.
And that note, I'll end on that. And then Jack, I see you there. Yeah. That whole scene, I laughed so fucking hard because those kind of moments are my favorite. Where like you laugh and then you kind of stop for a second, like, is this over? And then they're still like crying and getting their shit together. And I started laughing again, and then of course. And then the whole thing with the guy pushing the brooms with the broom across the ice, I thought was fantastic. So, yeah, I loved it. Jack.
Oh, are you mute? You're on mute?
You're on mute.
So I muted it with the dog.
Yeah.
The one thing I skipped was the Shoresy. Like two of those lines kill me: the tax breaks and running a charity marathon for them. That was really funny. I love those two lines, and the way he skates around, just killer. But the one big note that I have with all of that is the like normally you go, oh yeah, fuck your mother, whatever. But there's confirmation.
Yeah.
He's probably actually fucking their mothers.
I know.
That's what's so disturbing. Right?
Allegedly.
Oh.
I have the texts here. Riley's mom's text. Hey, hun, did you see your friend Shoresy today? And Jonesy's mom. Hey, sweetie, just trying to track down your friend Shoresy. Have you seen him?
They might have only gotten together to have tea or something,
What?
Yeah, that's what Shoresy's doing. Having tea.
Shoresy doesn't seem like a tea drinker to me.
All right.
He's a tea bagger.
Are we all on? Are we caught up now? Did I get everyone? Did I miss anyone? I'm so sorry.
I think you're good now.
All right.
The damage is done now.
Let's go to the ratings. I've had a
fucking embarrassing.
I know.
Just hit that button.
Okay, you're right. Here, I deserve it.
It's fucking embarrassing.
Yes, and I'll even do this one.
Sort yourself out.
All right, I'm going to try to sort myself out here. Tanya, what rating do you give this? A fresh, clearance, or compost?
Before I do, I would like to submit a reminder to Victor that he once phrased the cover of a book to me, and I would like to point that out to him that yes, the beginning of the story wasn't necessarily anything to do with the story, but the contents in the middle were really good. And I think the hockey it was a hockey story. It was all about Riley and Jonesy, their growth. It was about Marianne and Betty Ann, and what splinter that they had dividing them was the same splinter that brought them together, that they were able to pull together. Riley and Jonesy was able to push their team, and that whole montage of them working together, getting better, getting their wins. And it was a hockey story. And even though I don't like the hockey portion of it, there was no gains. There was no chirping. There was no, like, there was still a bit of the chirp, but it was done in a much better way. Like, it was way more fine tuned. Anyways, so I just want you to remember that when you're giving your rating.
And what is your
I'm going to give it a fresh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought they really pulled this together, and I thought it was a really good show. And even though the skids part wasn't necessarily part of the whole hockey thing, it was leading into what we're going to see. Absolutely.
Allegedly.
All right.
Allegedly.
The cold open was just okay. The hockey story was fun. I liked Riley and Jonesy. I liked Coach. The skid storyline was just setting up something for the future. I feel like in any kind of other show where it's a 23 episode season or whatever, this episode here would be considered kind of one of those bridge episodes, one of those episodes setting up storylines or whatever, not furthering anything, maybe tying up a storyline there with the hockey, and setting a future one up. But there's, not a whole lot of meat on the bone there. So this one was just okay, and it's hilarious. It was just okay, and I mean, Victor could almost convince me to give this one a compost, but I won't go that far.
Hit the fucking embarrassing again. Would you dare?
Seriously, I'm gonna back you on this one, Tanya.
I'm gonna give it a clearance.
What?
And here's why. I liked the Riley and Jonesy, and Coach was fun. It was just okay. I didn't find the writing super smart, and I didn't find it super funny. So it was just okay. There's nothing wrong with the episode. There's just nothing that really put this episode into the fresh for me. So yeah, I'm gonna see myself out, and I'm gonna
give your balls a tug, you tent fucker.
Melbourne Jack put a train wreck up, and I just got to call that out.
But can we call it? I'm pretty sure that's the exact same train wreck that Victor uses on the regular.
So is that a yeah?
See?
Oh my god! Oh, that's hilarious.
It was just okay. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it, but there's just nothing great about it either. Victor, what's your rating?
Well, first, let me address the elephant. Let me address the unicorn in the room. So,
the unicorn in the room.
So yes, you certainly don't want to be swayed by the cover. I wouldn't consider the cold open a cover, maybe an epilogue or something like that. What I would say is somebody was enjoying two different books. They were hardcovers. They were very old. So unfortunately, the insides just fell out onto the floor. And when they were putting the books back, they might have mixed up some of the pages.
You are spare parts, aren't you, bud?
So what we ended up with was a very patched story that didn't necessarily have any continuity in it. But all that said, my favorite parts of the story were definitely the hockey. Now, the fact that Tanya loved it so much, the exchange in the locker room, I'm still wondering if she's truly understanding what they're talking about. But that's all right. But in terms of the hockey itself, I thought it was actually like on the ice. They actually did a really great job. All the shooting on the ice, and my goodness, and Jackie called it the Shoresy skating. I mean, I literally was belly laughing at that. That was hilarious. The part that I didn't like, and I continue to not like, is the pooping, them talking and pooping at the same time.
I knew you were going to hate that scene. I knew it.
I don't know. I'm not a pooping guy. Like I don't find
Everybody poops, Victor.
I still think of that sound guy, that poor sound person. Like, oh my God, what they have to go through.
I don't enjoy things either. But the one moment in this episode where he puts the feet under the door.
And Matt, like in terms of the coach, I was totally with you. Like I didn't know what to think. I felt almost like, what am I missing that everybody else might be getting right now? What is when he's lurking around the corner behind? I'm wondering what's happening right now. What is the role that he's trying? What is the message he's trying to send here? I didn't get it. I don't, and even at the end, I didn't understand what that close up of him and crying and like what was this? And were you the coach for the last 2 years? Like what's happening here? I almost feel like there needs to be like this origin story of coach at some point.
I hope that happens. I hope that happens.
The golf course was not enough. I need more.
We need to learn more about Barb and his life. With Barb.
Exactly. Anyway, so all that to say that I can't possibly give this episode a fresh because it would be too much of an insult to some truly incredible episodes. But at the same time, I'm not going to give it a compost. There was just too much gold stuff in here. So for me, it's a solid clearance.
Okay. Matt, I'm not going to forget about you this time, buddy.
Wow, we're thanks, bud. Appreciate it. I feel like Jack would have cut you off there if you tried to.
He would have told me to.
Hey, give your balls a tug, you tit fucker. Shoresy.
So I mean, this one's hilarious. We are so all over the place in this episode. Normally, there's some general alignment, and we're nowhere on the same page, and I love it. So I mean, I don't ever think of any episode really. I know we have our top 5 and everything, but I always treat them independently when I rate them. I'm going to cut right to the chase, and I'll explain how I give this one a fresh. I'm with Tanya on this one. This one was fun. I mean, Al, I'm shocked from the writing perspective. Yes, there's no story pushing forward on this. I think it was but there was so much heavy on the Shoresy and then the girls there, Marianne and Betty Ann, and those interactions. I think the writing for those insults and those runs that they do is so brilliant. Like there's shots at everything, whether it's the Heritage Minutes or like there's so many good little subtle moments. And this is what it did it for me, is the subtle moments. Like again, I talked about Mark Forward and the coach, his little subtle interactions on the way. Riley and Jonesy, their interactions and their expressions, I thought were so killer. The ending of them just staring and taking in that situation. This one was. It's not in your face comedy, but it's so subtle. But I fucking love subtle. And when it's there, when it's done well, I think it should be celebrated. And this one was full of. So yeah, the skid thing, I'm sure it's setting up. The intro, not related at all. I feel like they actually shot the intro at a whole separate thing and didn't know where to put it. So I threw it in this episode. But at the end, I don't care. I still enjoyed it. It was a fun opening. And the rest of the story was hockey with a little shout out to a future coming. I'm okay with that. And so, yeah, I give it a fresh.
I love because you're not a big hockey fan. And
no,
and Tanya isn't either, but both of you are giving this a fresh, hockey heavy episode.
I don't know if I've ever said it here, if we've ever said it in private conversation, but I am not a sports person. That said, some of my favorite movies are sports movies.
Sports movies are the best.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So you add a story to sports. Yeah. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Sports movies are guys' romantic movies.
Yeah,
I mean, that is,
They have built-in drama to them, right? They have built-in stakes and drama because
Hey. Youngblood was one of the most romantic movies of the 80s. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Oh, God.
It's with Rob Lowe.
Yes.
Oh, my.
Jack, bring us home, buddy. What do you give this one?
Yeah, for me, it was a fresh.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the building. Yeah, again, the cold open was a touch long, but it was still funny and it didn't really take away too much from the episode. It's not as if they replaced it with bad. Like if that was long and then everything else didn't really work, then it could be out of place. But I didn't feel that way. It just dragged a little bit towards the end. A lot of callbacks in this episode. All the ets, like you mentioned, Al, like those are the subtle things. The love-hate relationship, and Matt mentioned with Coach and the bin. I don't really know what's going on there. Maybe he's just I really don't know.
I think the bin is his coping mechanism. It's his kind of security blanket. And when he's tense and stressed, he wants to kick it. And I think that's
he doesn't feel like himself if he doesn't kick it.
Yeah.
I get that, but like you see, tennis players break rackets all the time and all that sort of stuff. And it's in that moment of frustration. They don't go out there and go, I want to break a racket today. Coach is looking at the bin going, I want to kick you. I just want to kick you.
It's calling him.
It's not that snapshot of, coach freaking out in the box and just the bin is the closest thing, so he kicks it.
Yeah.
And then the Shoresy moments as well as the ladies and all the chirping. There's some really good quality in this episode, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so 3 freshes and 2 clearances. Yeah, the line here, the divide here is unusual with Victor and myself agreeing, and Matt and Tanya giving freshes. Top 5s. Does this break anyone's top 5? I'll start with you, Tanya.
No, I'm not going to move anything.
No. It obviously doesn't touch any of my top 5. And Victor, probably not you either? No. What about you, Matt?
No, it doesn't touch the top 5, but I enjoyed the episode.
So, Jack, I don't expect you to rhyme off your top 5 episodes, but if you want to, mention a few of your favorites.
I didn't get time to do a little. I did think about it last week, and I felt bad with who I was following on from last week, because that was a really great episode, by the way. And there's some really good stories. But for me, I think it's more the characters for me than specific episodes. There's 2 episodes at least coming up with the Mennonites that I won't spoil anything, but they are gold. Yes. There's some really good wordplay. I know you guys that have seen it before are nodding. I love the Dax and Ronnie, those scenes where they take the sports again and they flip it on its head, and normally it's all very homophobic in that, but they use the wordplay really well. So they're the sort of more the things I enjoy, those little interactions. And then when you see characters like Glenn and the Skids and the opposing sides and the way they work them, I really enjoy those sort of moments.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always a fan of the episodes where all the cast members are in together. The ensemble episodes are a lot of fun, just seeing these very different groups and how they deal with each other. All right, so now it's time for the Postage.store MVP. Tanya, who's your MVP for this episode?
Riley and Jonesy.
Oh, together. All right, yeah. I guess
they are a unit. We've established this already.
The spelling bee, they were one person.
Riley and Jonesy. Yes, well, that's a good one. Let's see, my MVP. I guess it's between Victor and Riley. It's got to be Riley and Jonesy. I mean, this is their episode. This is their story. They carry it and they do a good job of it. I was considering Coach, but I mean, how can you give MVP to a part where he says one line in the whole episode? So I'll give it to Riley and Jonesy. What about you, Victor?
Yeah, well, I mean, initially I was going to give it to Coach's understudy, the bin that was sitting next to him on the bench.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes when he was looking at it and he just wanted to kick it. Yeah. He just wanted to give it, but he kept his composure. Yeah. But I felt that bin was pure gold in that scene. It really held its role well. But I really do have to the part that made me laugh more than anything else in the episode was Shoresy skating. So I gotta give it to Shoresy for that one.
Well done. All right, Shoresy. Matt, how about you? Coach Silent Hero. He holds it up. Notepad with Coach Silent Hero. All right, a vote for Coach. I don't disagree, but he didn't have any words, so
he was fantastic.
He was. Well, he had the one tantrum when he comes in.
Well, I'm going to give one line. He was fantastic, and his subtle little moments took it for me.
Yeah. Jack, who's your MVP for this one?
I considered Shoresy, but Betty Ann and Marion, because they won. They won the ship. They clean sweep.
Yeah.
And really, when those two were fighting, they were down in, I think it was 6th.
Yeah.
Where they started, then you have that whole training montage, and then they won it. So clearly, they were the backbone of the team. Yes. So
yeah, you're right. You're right.
They got the sweep. Betty Ann and Mary Lynn.
And I love that you consider them an unit as well.
Yeah, I guess.
They're the Riley and Jonesy of the women's team.
You know what? They were also on my list. It's pretty much a tie between the two. Like such good acting.
Do you want to change your answer, or are you still sticking to Riley and Jonesy?
Jack makes a good point. They did. They made the show just as much. I don't know. No, I'll shut it out still to Riley and Jonesy.
All right.
You got to go with the mid or the D. You can't have both.
The mid or the
Well, I do like the D, so I'm going to keep with that then.
Very cool. All right. I'm going to move on to a scientific Twitter poll that I ran last week after our episode. Just about the, here's the Twitter poll. The question I asked was gold teeth. And then the answers, the two options are attractive or not attractive. We got 40 responses, and 10% of people said that they were attractive, while 90% said not attractive. And I completely agree. Like, you take somebody like Katie, who's hot, and you give her gold teeth, and suddenly she kind of looks, I don't know, that scene where she flashes the grill. Not attractive. What do you guys think, Jack? Did you find that attractive or no?
No, I voted on the poll. I don't know how you can find that really attractive.
Yeah.
I don't think it.
I know it's supposed to be intimidation or to.
It's not supposed to be an attractiveness. It's supposed to be like a big boss sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So anyway, 90% agreed with me. Victor, what did you think?
No, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And Matt?
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense. It's the same as like people leave stickers on their hats. There's nothing okay.
And by the way, I don't find it attractive on guys either. I think it's just as ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
I love your inclusiveness in that response.
Yeah. This has nothing to do with women not being it. This is just the whole
ridiculous.
idea. The whole idea is kind of stupid.
Yeah. All right, moving on to listener comments. We have that one from Martin Badke, and he says, as I do not get produce stand from Apple, I cannot review there. So here goes. If you are from a town like Letterkenny and have Letterkenny problems, this may be therapy to solve some. Or you can laugh at yourself. Just let that marinate. 10 ply. Thank you, Martin, for your comment and for the review. We appreciate you listening and following. And that brings us kind of to the end of this episode. Oh, news. Just a bit of news, not for us, but just found out from our friend Dean and Tiara at the How Are You Now podcast. They're going to have, get them mixed up. Is it Dax, who's the blonde, or Ron? The one of the two, Dax or Ron, the blonde guy. They're going to have him on their podcast soon as an interview, as a guest. So that should be fun. So if anybody is interested in an interview with him, I forget his name now, but he's going to be on the How Are You Now podcast. So check out that one. And
Al, can you please sort out a way for us to have remote control over your fucking embarrassing sound effects?
Oh, good call, Victor. Good call.
Oh.
You know what? Get your own damn soundboard, all right?
It's so good, Victor.
I regret nothing.
I'll send you some links.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So let's move on to final thoughts, final comments. Tanya, do you have any for this episode?
I just want to thank Melbourne Jack. It was so awesome to have you here. I was so excited about seeing you today. And so
she was so excited she fell asleep. Yes.
Come on now.
Just kidding.
Overwhelmed with excitement.
She was earlier today. She was like, "Oh, I can't wait to talk to Melbourne Jack on the podcast."
Yes. So super exciting to talk to somebody around the world. So that was super awesome to have you, and thank you so much. And it was a good show, and that's all I got.
Yeah.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Oh yeah. Happy Easter. So yes, I'm going to echo Jack. Thank you so much for being a patron, for being a listener and a follower. And your Greendale podcast is a lot of fun to listen to. So I'm enjoying listening to that. So good work with that, buddy. And can't wait to have you on again. I'm sure we'll be able to get you on again in a future episode. Hopefully, I guess we'll have to wait for another long weekend for that to happen, though. Either that or you're going to have to play hooky from work.
something like that. I'm sure something can be sorted out.
Yeah, or maybe we'll just one day we'll have to move the Thirsty Thursday to a Friday just to accommodate you. Friday for us, Saturday for you. Victor.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much for making the time, putting up with our shenanigans, and also just being a listener and a patron, and just really awesome to have you on. And like Al said, would be awesome to have you on again in the future for sure. Yeah, looking forward to, I guess, the season finale with our next show, right? So
is it already?
Looking forward.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah, so looking forward to that.
Wow.
Yeah, Matt, while you say your final thoughts, I'm going to find out who our guest is next week. Go ahead.
Figure it out, bud. One fucking job, Al.
What he was saying is, I'm not actually going to be paying attention to what you have to say for next.
Yeah, I heard him. I know.
Okay, first of all, fuck you. You're supposed to be covering for me while I look for that name.
Well, then don't call your shit out.
Don't throw me under the bus. Go ahead, Matt. What are your final thoughts?
I mean, I'm not going to say I'll echo everything. It's honestly, Jack, I know Al brings you up all the time. I know we know who you are theoretically. It was great to see you and speak to the other side of the world. It's such a blast. And I had to look it up because I've been fixated this entire episode. I know I've been pretty in tune, but if I seem distracted at all, it's because I'm fixated on what an XPA is. So you've been drinking a fucking XPA, and I Googled it, and actually the very first hit, it says extra pale ale is a style perfectly suited to Australia, sitting somewhere between an American pale ale and India pale ale. It's a style that has captured the Australian consumer. So there we have it. That's what Dr. Google told me on the first hit. So there might be more to it, but anyways, it's an Australian thing according to that. Mm-hmm. And one day I will find one and I will drink thee.
And think of you.
And think of you.
All right. Before we give Jack the last word, let me just say that next week we are going to have Awesome on the show for Buck and Beach. So for the season finale, we're going to have Awesome joining us for that one.
I also want to just insert that I love that your train wreck was the exact same as Victor's train wreck. That was
not planned.
I skipped past the first one thinking, no, I reckon that's what he's got. I'll keep looking, and then I found another one. I went, yeah, I'll go with that.
So awesome.
And you went, and you got this. It's like you like two women.
You were channeling him,
wearing the same dress at an event.
Yeah,
you
it's saw
very
it in the future.
Yeah, we synced by the end of the episode.
Awesome, Jack. Your final thoughts.
I just want to say, obviously, thanks for having me. Mm-hmm. Thanks for making the podcast. I know all of us in the Twitter DM group really enjoy it. There's good banter. I don't enjoy waking up to 43 missed messages and then having to figure out what the hell you guys are talking about because time zones. That's no fun, but it's just been a blast. I know I speak for myself, and I can probably include Mr. Stephen Walker on this one. But obviously, we started our podcast because of the fun you guys have. Happy to be a Patreon and support you guys. It's been a blast listening. I know I get the podcast every Friday afternoon, so I listen to them on my way home from work, and that always puts me in a good mood and a good spot for the weekend. So. Yeah, happy to be on. More than happy to be on again at another point when I get another Friday off. But yeah, thanks for having me.
You're blowing Tanya's mind that you actually listen to this.
Every single time. Every time somebody references.
I now know exactly how you guys feel when you say that because I look at our stats for our downloads and I go, oh wow, there's X amount of people listening and there's this amount this week. And then when you put a poll on Twitter and you get, I know our poll this week got 40, which was huge for us. When we go,
shit, there are people out there actually interacting with us. It's not just burner accounts with Brad, one of the hosts. So yeah, it's really cool.
Well,
it's a trip, eh?
Yeah, it's a trip. And let me tell you, because I told you this when you were first talking about doing this, is you're likely, I mean, if you haven't already, you will easily pass us in listenership just for the mere fact that Community is it's an American show, such a huge show, and already has such a massive following. I mean, Letterkenny's big by Canadian standards and big as a cult favorite, but Community is an en masse favorite. So you're pulling from a bigger ocean there, like listeners from a bigger ocean.
When we did our first little bit of research, we went, there's 4 or 5 podcasts out there that we found, and that was okay. And then we did some more digging and found out there's like 10 other podcasts.
Yeah. So
we're in a much bigger market, yes, but there's a lot more competition.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So there's your challenge. How are you going to separate yourself from the others? You're right. So we've got 2 other competitive podcasts with us, and we compete with them by making them our friends, so inviting Dean on and doing that. So, I mean, because I think the community is big enough for everybody, right?
Yeah. And like you guys said, you guys have a great time. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if no one's listening. You guys get to sit here, drink beer, have a great time with your mates. And that's roughly what we do on a Friday night, and talk shit about football and a TV show. Like, how good is it?
It's great. Well, I can tell.
You're spot on. You're spot on, bud. I mean, we trip out every week that people are listening, but yeah, we have a couple of beers. I mean, at least I know I do. And we joke and we laugh, and it's so much fun.
All right, I'm going to play us off with a song from the show. This one's called Terminus from a band called Metric. Let this one marinate for a bit.
Your timing right today, Al?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Fucking happened? Embarrassing.
What happened?
Right again.
Tanya falls asleep for 5 minutes and you fuck up the whole show.
This is what the butterfly effect is.
The music stopped when you spoke, Matt. I blame you.
Everybody's being blamed.
I'm going to set up my own soundboard.
What's going on here?
Do you want me to play something off my phone?
Do I need to pull out my guitar? Is that what's happening here?
My Spotify crashed. I don't know what happened there.
Oh my God. Okay, quick. Lay a beat. Beatbox. Go.
No, you don't want here. Oh, there we go. Damn.
That's good.
Let's see if we make it past I already made it past the point.
Welcome to episode 1.
I know, right? Jack, I'm sorry. We're usually way more professional about this.
Wow.
No, we're not.
You're right. And that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we recap and review episode 6 of season 5, Buck a Biche. If you'd like to support the podcast, rate us on iTunes or become a patron. There's a Patreon link on our site or Twitter profile @ProduceStandPod. If Twitter ain't your thing, we're also on Facebook and Instagram @ProduceStandPod. Thanks for joining us. Now we're going to decorate some eggs and try not to eat many of those Cadbury mini eggs. Man, they're addictive. On behalf of Jack, Matt, Victor, Tanya, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.